Hello there, dads, and welcome to DADcast episode 2 with our other guest, Valley, and with Lafayette, as always.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there.
Now, let's move on to the questions.
Yeah, the first question will be a very simple one. Valley, introduce yourself to the audience, if you will.
Yeah, hi, I'm Vale. I'm, I guess, a local raccoon, the trash guy. Maybe not, but hi. Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell the audience who you are as an artist? Very general description of what do you draw mainly.
Oh, as an artist, I mainly draw like animals and whatever pops into my head. There's like a lot of draw box in the beginning of my art career, I guess. Not really a career, but and there's a few studies and a lot of lines, I guess, and a lot of raccoons too. I'm mainly at still like a beginner level artist, like between beginner and bad artist, somewhere there. So
You could say that you're like the RNG raccoon of the site.
maybe I roleplay a lot as a raccoon, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah, you describe yourself as a beginner artist. How long have you been drawing for?
I really haven't been drawing for long. Like I've done a little bit of drawing in my childhood, but not really that much. I've really only been drawing for like about 1.5 years now, and that's like all the drawing I've done.
Tell us, Valley, what did first compel you to draw, and why and how did you start drawing?
Well, first started drawing like a bit around 2017, like the end there. But that was mostly like by chance, since I bought a drawing tablet because I wanted to play Osu. So that's how the drawing started, I guess. So like I had the drawing tablet and played some Osu, and then I played around with Photoshop and drawing a bit there. But I really didn't start until like 2019.
That's a little wholesome story. How did drawing started? Like, how did it go exactly? What was your mind process when you thought, like, oh, hey, I want to draw? What was the first things that you looked up and the things that you thought about?
I think it was a sketchbook thread and saw someone doing a skull study, and that's the first thing I did, I think. Like I drew some skulls. I had like an A3 sheet of paper, and then I filled it with skulls because I really wanted to draw skulls then and there. So that's what I started with, I guess.
Wait, did you fill up the entire A3 page?
Mostly, yeah.
So you were already browsing IC then in the beginning.
A bit, I guess. Not really that much, but that's how I found Dad in the beginning.
Oh, that's a nice segue into another question. So you first found out about that by chance through the Dad thread on IC then?
Yeah.
What motivated you to join? How did you decide yourself to join?
Well, first of all, I really haven't been on IC that long when I found that. I'm not that frequent at 4chan, but the thing is I downloaded like mobile app to browse some You Laugh You Lose threads on my phone. And while I was using the app, I like looked through all the other threads and found IC, I guess. And I think I fell in love, I guess, because there's a lot of talented people in like the sketchbook threads and the other threads, and I found it really nice, I guess.
Do you remember anything specific from the thread that you saw and it motivated you to like think, oh, hey, this website seems interesting. I want to join and I want to be a part of it?
I don't really remember how much I looked at the Dad thread, but I read all the shit posts and stuff there, and I was stupid enough to ask how to join because I didn't really read the sticky well enough.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, so I got like, are you fucking retarded or something along those lines, and then I went up and like joined the site.
Don't worry, Valley. You're forgiven for your sins.
Yeah, I guess that's how I started Dad.
So tell us, Valley, do you remember your first day on Dad and how it was like?
My first day at Dad, I think I just grabbed something I had close to me and just drew it and posted it. That's like the first thing I drew on Dad. I think it was like a little wooden duck or something.
Yeah, indeed. It is a wooden duck.
But I didn't really think much about the first day. It was just something I did like in the spur of a moment.
Very spontaneous boy is Valley.
Yeah.
aside from art, do you pursue any other creative hobbies or just any other hobby in general?
Well, I've been interested in reading and writing, but I really haven't done any of it. But for creative stuff, I guess I play D&D. That's pretty creative.
Mm-hmm.
But for creating stuff on my own, there's not that much going on.
You do enjoy writing, though.
I done a little bit of writing, but not much.
Did you ever think about applying it to art, maybe?
Yeah.
Illustrate stories that you've written?
I kind of want to try making a comic or illustrating a story in some way. I'd have some vague ideas of stories and comics, but I haven't really started much.
That would be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Valley, in terms of art materials, and doing artistic things in general, would you say that you prefer traditional or digital? And if so, why?
Well, right now I definitely prefer traditional. I think it's much easier to get the lines how I want them, and I just think I have better control with traditional than I do with digital. But in the beginning, I thought it was really important to be able to draw digitally, so I started digitally without having done any traditional at all.
How would you describe your experience handling a tablet for the first time and just getting acquainted with digital software has been?
It was really hard since in the beginning my tablet didn't work at all with the software. So I spent a lot of time troubleshooting and trying to get the tablet to work properly.
Perhaps one good question to ask would be, what tablet do you have?
Oh, I have a Huion new 1060 Plus. I think it's the same Tiki got.
Yeah, I have the same tablet. It's pretty good. I don't know how good it is to play Osu, but I know it's pretty nice to draw. You can do some great things, especially as a beginner. It's very affordable, and I don't want to make any publicity for them, but it's a tablet. It's a tablet that quite a lot of beginners have. Yeah, so you'd say you're most likely a traditional artist in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shows when we look at your gallery. Most of your drawings are traditional.
Yeah, there's been some weeks where there's just digital, but I really feel bad about drawing digitally because I the lines don't go the way I want them to, so I get frustrated.
Yeah, it's not something you're used to. It's not your comfortable setup.
No, but I should really spend some time getting used to the brushes and just spend some time calibrating how it's supposed to be and stuff, but I haven't yet.
Well, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
So still going pretty with a general approach over your art and the things you like to draw. You have described many time in the past that you try to keep a general quote unquote comfy vibe to drawing. That it's one of the main things that you like to draw, comfy art. You like to look at comfy stuff. How would you describe that?
I just really like looking at cute stuff, and I like art that is kind of brutal and dark too, but what I mostly want to be able to create is cute stuff, at least for now, like realistic looking animals, and I want to be able to draw realistic humans too, but that's not really going anywhere at the moment.
If I understand correctly, art that isn't too confrontational and that is makes you feel a good vibe when you look at it.
Yeah.
A wholesome vibe.
At the moment, I really want to make it wholesome, and so you don't get any bad feelings by looking at the art. Mostly just fun drawings that make me happy. Maybe you get happy too by looking at them.
Yeah, surely we do.
Valley's just an overall wholesome artist.
Yeah, I may be a wholesome artist, but I'm not really a wholesome person. Yes, I am a wholesome person, but I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind.
The art is still loading, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the moment I don't feel like I'm able to create much since I'm not able to draw realistic from life flats before I try to create stuff that I guess isn't wholesome. Or does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, Valley, you'll get there eventually. So, how about if you tell us where and who do you get inspiration from?
Oh, I think that's one of my bad habits. I don't really look that much at art.
It doesn't have to be art. It's just things that inspire you, that make you want to draw.
Right now, the things that makes me want to draw are are mostly the people at DAD, because a lot of them are so talented and so hardworking. But I guess I get my inspiration from reading and manga and TV series and playing games.
Is there anyone on that who inspires you the most, or like any particular dads that you tend to look up to?
Or in more simpler term, names? Question mark.
Names, yeah.
Give names.
Well, I think Coin is a very good artist, and I like he has a lot of nice landscapes and with like realistic looking places where there's a lot of characters moving about that like seems to fit the like the fantasy drawing he's drawing. Other than Coin, I guess I really like to look at Echo and Otto's works because they're so high level, I guess, since they're such good artists.
Nice. So you generally like their level of polish, I guess you could say. Is there any other dad that you often check out?
I sometimes just like go and browse through all the images that was posted the last day.
I mean, Vastian is going to keep asking questions until you mention him.
Well, I really like Bastian's line work, so.
Thank you, Valley. I am not skipped. I am so happy now. We can continue on with the podcast.
Well, yeah, and you also mentioned that you were inspired by books, manga, and TV shows.
Yeah.
Would you have any recommendations?
For manga right now, I'm reading a lot of like shitty isekai mangas, but I think that's my guilty pleasure, I guess.
I mean, that's comfy.
Yeah, well, most of the isekai is just like bad, straight up bad, but there's some charm in that too, I guess. One of the isekais I really like are like Slime Tensei, the one where the dude gets turned into slime.
Yeah, I looked at some of that. It was pretty fun in the beginning.
Yeah.
So Valley likes Sword Art Online. Good to know.
Well, I enjoyed Sword Art Online, and I've read most of the Sword Art Online books, but the manga is really shit. But I guess I still enjoy it, even if it's shit.
Guilty pleasures, like you said.
It's good that you're able to enjoy things like that, Valley. It'll be healthy and good for you.
Maybe not that healthy to like look at Sword Art Online, but I'd probably get death threats or something.
You need to detox yourself after doing so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be trying to draw a raccoon and you will insert some anime girl's face and some kind of cringy isekai plot into the whole thing.
Oh no.
Thank you for the inspiration. Keep still talking about the art process. What does your typical drawing session look like? Like your the warm ups you do, the rituals you do, the things you always do before starting to draw. Do you have like set ideas, or are you more of an improvisation person?
Well, for warm up, I usually do like the draw box warm up, where like you draw 8 lines on top of each other and like ellipses and straight lines, ghosted lines, and a few other of the draw box exercises. But after that, if I don't have like a clear idea what I want to draw, it usually just like doodling, but I don't get anywhere with that. So recently I've been just like started with like coming up with a simple thing like a bear, a bird, chainsaw, a car, just like a simple thing, and I find some reference and just draw it.
You don't spend 30 minutes on Pinterest or your Twitter feed before starting to draw.
Yeah.
You just get right into it with warm-ups and then think a bit about it and then just draw.
Yeah, but I really want to like have some own creative ideas, maybe like a place with a character in it, but then I have to sit down and spend some time like making a setting, I guess.
Oh, and that is a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem because I don't do that. So.
Oh, that's kind of segues into another question I have. How many time do you spend drawing on a daily basis?
Well, the last few days now, I haven't been able to spend that much time, maybe about half an hour to an hour. But before that, I spent maybe about 1 to 2 hours drawing every day. But I think I might have burned out a little, or maybe I need to start a project, I think. That's what I have to do to be able to draw more.
Speaking of that, Valley, do you have any kind of, I would say, routine or any kind of, general organization towards drawing, or do you generally just go with how it comes that day?
For drawing from reference, I start with using a pencil and sketch like the vague image, just trying to make it in like shapes like boxes and circles. And after that, I go over still with a pencil and refine the sketch even more. And when I feel like most of the details are where they're supposed to be, I go over with a fine liner. That's how I've been doing it the last few weeks, I guess.
How about your management of time? Do you have anything like a set time of the day? When do you sit down to draw? Or do you sometimes think of like, hey, this week I'm going to draw every day around this time or anything like that? Or is it more of just a sporadic activity?
A few weeks ago, I managed to draw early, and therefore I draw a lot more. But the last few days, I've just been drawing to post to Dad, so that's not great, I guess. But it's getting late. I have to draw soon, so I sit down and then I draw. But I don't want it to be that way. I want to be able to draw because I want to draw, not because I have to post. So
You mentioned like you feel like you need a big project to motivate you to draw more. Do you have like any idea what this could be?
a few days ago, I did like a little comic about a raccoon pulling out Excalibur from a rock, and I kind of want to do something more about a raccoon going on some sort of adventure, make a silly little comic out of that.
Oh, so a comic. That bounces back to what we talked about earlier. I read that comic. I mean, I looked at this comic because it's a pretty quick read, but it follows your main line of comfy cute.
I saw it when you posted. It was pretty good.
Thanks. The main idea about the raccoon is that he's the strongest being in the world. So for the next comic strip, I have an idea about him chasing away a dragon from its lair, standing on top of a gold or something.
I really appreciate how he's holding the sword, looking both clueless and also very menacing.
Yeah.
I have one question about the Raccoon Valley.
Yeah.
Like you said, this little raccoon is supposed to be the strongest being, but he's still a raccoon, right?
It's still a raccoon, yeah.
Nice.
He might have some connection to an eldritch being or something.
Oh, so you have a whole universe thought out.
I have some settings, some ideas, yeah.
Valid raccoon universe grows larger every day.
The raccoon might be like a princess who was cursed to be a raccoon, but I'm not so sure about that yet.
I'm looking forward to see what you do with it.
Yeah, same. So still talking about the art career. Did you ever do professional work as an artist?
No, I haven't really done anything professional, I guess. But I've helped some friends with some small drawing projects.
Yeah, projects for other people.
Yeah, right now I'm helping a friend with a logo for his student organization thing. But I don't know where that's going because he hasn't messaged me in a while. But it's probably because it's holiday.
You also talked to me about something a while ago. Shirts, I think shirt design for your school with a gondola.
Oh yeah, it's like in Norway we have celebrating when we're finished with high school. So we go into groups and make a hoodie with a name and the logo. It's a Norwegian thing called Russ, but I don't really like it that much since a lot of students drink way too much right before the exam, and they use a lot of money to make huge buses with the logo and the group. But it was just a small thing I did for my friends. So we got a hoodie with a logo on it, with a spurdosparde, like the Ebin, the cute little bear thingy.
You do remember it fondly though.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sounds like you did a good job.
Thanks. So not much of professional work.
Is the logo the logo you're currently working on for your friend? Is it the thing with the handshake?
Yeah, it's a thing with the handshake. It's
Also, I remember some time ago you fiddled with the bowling alley in the plane, which was a project that you worked on for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, it's for university. For getting into university, I have to make a task, I guess.
A homework.
Yeah, homework.
What's the instruction they gave you?
The instruction was that you had to take an empty space or building and make it into something new that can be used for something else. I took a picture of an empty plane without any seats, and I photoshopped a bowling alley inside the plane. I also made like a diagram about the plane, how it looks from the side. So that was a lot of work, and it also made it so I got into the next part of getting accepted into the university. So
Great.
You passed the exam, partly.
yeah, partly since I haven't gotten in it since.
Since you're speaking about your university tests and all of that, you already mentioned the Little Raccoon comic that you're thinking about. But in general, what are the goals that you're working towards currently besides drawing? Would you like to study something specific at university, to work on something related to drawing, anything of that nature?
For the most part, I just want to work on something creative. I want to work on something that has to do with drawing or design or making something. Drawing for a living, I guess, in some way, being creative. The university I'm trying to get into is for design.
Design.
Yeah, like just general design, since you can specialize yourself when you get into the university.
Is there any kind of design specialty that you're looking at right now?
No, I really haven't thought much about it. I knew I wanted to do something creative, and it was either design or architecture. So, and I didn't get into architecture. So
For now, you're just focused on getting in, and you'll see what happens afterwards.
right now I'm in like queue for getting in. It's like I'm the 10th person in queue. So for me to get in, there has to be 10 other people who like said no to their space or in some way have to do it another time. I'm not too sure how likely it is that 10 people will give away their space, but
You need to release your raccoons and have the raccoons vandalize their houses and sabotage them.
yeah.
Use your natural powers, Valley.
They'll have to not meet up on the first day of school, and that makes it so I'll get the spot.
I imagine that COVID also complicated the whole situation.
I guess it did a bit since with other people staying at home, there's tons of more people who wanted to get into the university. So it was harder competition. But other than that, I don't think COVID had there was that many complications with it.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for your university endeavors.
I do hope that the raccoons will grant you good fortune, Valley.
Yeah, I hope so.
What if we go a little bit back to talking about art, and you tell us what kind of art do you see yourself making in the future, or what kind of art do you want to make? You already described.
I think I really want to make characters in like environments. So like making my own original characters and in some way make something out of that. Not just drawing them, but maybe having a story based on it or
Yeah, you've already mentioned the narrative aspect before.
yeah.
Have you ever written anything that you've tried to execute, either via drawing or just by simple writing?
No, not really. I've like written something down sometimes, but I really haven't started with like putting in the time to make my own work yet, I guess.
Although you're kind of going towards this direction with the raccoon princess thing. It's kind of an original character.
I hope that will lead somewhere. But
Yeah.
I think most of all, I just have to start with something. It doesn't matter what. Getting more hours working on stuff.
That's interesting because it contrasts a lot with the answer we got from Otto last episode when we asked him how does he see himself in the future and things like that regarding his art. You seem to have a much different view on your future and maybe a more decisive one. You have a very precise thing you want to do.
Yeah.
While Otto gave us general ideas and very many ideas,
Yeah.
How do you feel about these ideas that you have, Valley? Do you think they might change with some time as you progress and learn more? Or do you think that you will definitely, for sure, soon enough start working on comics and the kind of thing that you want to make once you get in more mileage?
I really don't know. They would probably change because the reason I'm doing art is there's no like big reason behind it. It's just something I decided to do. It's really the same with what university I want to get into. It's just something I decided because I had to decide something. So it seemed fun and exciting. So that's just the direction I'm going right now. But if I ever change my mind, I really don't know.
RNG Valley strikes again.
This is going to be one of the last questions directly related to art and your journey.
Yeah.
It might be a bit of a tricky one to answer. Take your time to think about it. What is the piece of art you have made in the past that you are the most proud of at this moment?
Well, I think it's definitely the wholesome couple one, since that's the one I've put the most time into, like make it look good and polishing it. So that's the one I'm most proud of.
Okay, because you spend the most time on it.
Yeah, and I think it turned out good. I'm really, really happy with it.
If you were to do it again today, how would you change it? How would you improve it?
I would probably work more on the like perspective on where they're standing, what's the background. For the people, like the characters in the picture, I really don't think I would be able to make them that much better. But I could probably have worked more on the clothing of them, and also maybe give them a bit more detail, since it's like very flat.
Is there any approach that you have in mind that you would take if you had to make the characters look better?
It would probably be finding more references, since I used really few references that made it kind of bad or worse, I guess.
Yeah, maybe less yours.
Yeah.
So you could say that in a way you were lacking some visual understanding of the topic that you were drawing because of the lack of reference.
Yeah, I'm still not good at using references. Like in the beginning, I felt like it was cheating, but that's like a stupid thought to have. So I just really need to get better at referencing everything.
How is your use of references usually like?
Right now, it's just copying from references what I use the most, since I really haven't made anything original lately.
Do you generally use multiple references for a single subject, or do you tend to just look at a single picture?
There's a few like studies I've done of stuff like crabs and a lot of raccoons. So then I will use multiple references from different angles and trying to get like a better understanding of the subject. But I still haven't made a lot of finished works, so that's the main problem. I really haven't like put in the time.
I guess you could say that you perhaps have not yet developed a usual way to work with reference and the sense of remembering, oh hey, I should get these many references and I should look at them this amount of time and so on.
Yeah, I'm just not good at it yet. I haven't spent enough time to be able to understand how to use references properly.
Don't worry, you'll get there.
I'm looking at your wholesome couple submission. I wanted to know, how did the idea of potted plants came to mind?
It was a really silly idea, since I spent a lot of time trying to like make the faces properly, but I can't draw faces, so I draw flowers instead.
And you still made faces on the pots.
Yeah, some small smiley faces on the pots.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I really like this idea. It brings a lot to the picture. Gives it a very original feel.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's funny. It's a thing it's an answer that you encounter a lot when you ask artists questions like how do you have this idea for this specific design elements? A lot of times it's just tried things and this look the best out of all the things I tried.
Yeah, since how it happened is like I didn't know how to draw the faces, so I asked on the Discord, I think, and someone said that the smiley face was really cute, so I just stuck with it and made a plant around it.
Well, yeah, it worked. I mean, okay, we're going to move away from the questions only regarding your art and move to questions on regarding the Duar Daily community. So you already told us how you first found out about that. Could you tell us how do you feel it has helped you, your motivation, your art, and maybe just your general productivity as a person?
Well, first of all, it has made me be able to like spend some time doing something that isn't not productive. So before I joined Dad, I spent most of my time like doing nothing, playing games, watching YouTube and Netflix and stuff. So after I joined Dad, I spent a lot of time actually feeling good about what I was doing, since I feel like drawing is something that is productive and like it's a journey that you can continue working on. So with joining Dad, I was able to force myself to actually sit down and do something.
This should be an ad for reasons to join that. Whoa, before joining that, I didn't do anything of my day, but when I tried that, I became really productive.
Reason to join that, number 32.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I mean, I can kind of say the same, because before joining that, I could only like drawing 30 minutes per day sounded a lot to me. I was like, oh no, very unproductive, you know. And yeah, it did help me. So, would you say that you enjoy drawing? Like, it's not a chore to do the 30 minutes each day.
I definitely enjoy the moments I sit down and draw, but like just before I sit down to draw, it can be like kind of intimidating, I guess, since most of the time I have no idea what I'm going to draw. So that's like the biggest hurdle for me, like having a clear idea of what to draw right now. So I have to spend a lot of time to work on that, I guess.
Do you struggle a lot with stamina issues when drawing? Like, let's say, you already mentioned how sitting down to draw might be the problem, but once that you're sat down and drawing, how is it like? Do you feel like you can draw for a very long time? Do you generally draw for 30 minutes and you find yourself tired? Or do you think that you could just draw and keep going for a very long time?
I really don't have any problems with sitting down and drawing for a long time, but right now it's just that I start small projects, and when I'm finished, like I don't draw anymore after that. So and when I start drawing something, I try to like finish it or like draw until it's done. But like for bigger projects, I tend to split them up, and that makes me be able to work much longer periods.
So then, would you say that generally the problem that makes you stop drawing is that once you've gone through the initial idea that you had, you don't really have, let's say, a backup idea to continue with the process?
Yeah, so I have to spend more time or maybe just have more projects piled up, so I have something to start on right when I finish drawing the raccoon, I guess.
Do you keep any kind of list that you use to remind yourself of the ideas that you have for drawing?
I made like a list of ideas I want to draw, but it's very vague, so that makes it harder to pick from the list to draw. I have to flesh out the ideas more before I can really start on them. It's mostly just like keywords.
So you could say that they're very general and broad ideas more than a specific thing.
Like for example, one of the keywords is just sojourn, like the journey back. So that's all. Others are like a crystallized beetle. Some ideas I had with like drawing insects with rocks on their back and stuff. So
Okay, hold on. So let's do something really quick right now, live, that might help you out. Let us imagine that you're going to draw that crystallized beetle right now, right? So I give you that prompt. What do you do?
well, first of all, I'd probably look some references for some beetles and also find some crystals. Well, since I've already drawn the crystallized beetles before, that's what I did. I just drew a beetle and then I drew a rock on top of him.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that you had drawn it already. So wait, you just put up like a rock on top of the beetle.
Yeah, you can probably find it on my profile. I probably shouldn't have said something that I'd already drawn from the list, but
Nah, that's fine. Just wanted to interrogate you on what kind of approach you would take for that.
yeah.
How long have you been on Data Valley, and like how hard or easy was it to keep a long streak like the one that you had?
Well, I've been on that since 20th of March 2019, but I really haven't struggled with the holding a streak, except for the times I died. But I don't think it's that hard to be able to sit down and draw 30 minutes a day. It's mostly just being able to actually sit down and do it. So
How was it that you initially lost your streak? Because it can generally be easy until you find that one problem that is usually the one that tends to kill your streak. Which one would you say was the one for you?
How I died the first time is that I sat down to start to draw. I had 2 hours before the deadline or something, and then a friend messaged me and we chatted for 2 hours, and I forgot to do anything.
So it was a minor distraction that did you in.
Yeah.
Is this person still your friend?
Well, yeah, but she's a bit of hassle, I guess.
You're a very forgiving person.
It wasn't her fault, so it's totally my fault. And so that's how my streak of 240 went away the first time.
How about the second time?
The second time it was because I was working at the university stuff. I was really tired, so I just forgot to post the stuff I've been drawing. So I just went to sleep and died.
Did you entirely forget, or was it more something like you were tired, let's say in your bed, and you remember and you're like, nah, I can be fucked to do that right now?
No, I entirely forgot.
So it was like a complete blank.
Since I spent 12 hours or something working on the university that day, and I just went to bed right afterwards.
The raccoon battery had worn out.
Since we got the task that day, and then we had to post it the same day.
I really like how you said, oh, it's not that hard to draw 30 minutes a day. So no, now people listening to this, you have no excuse. That's someone who has been on page 1 twice.
Yeah.
Telling you that it's easy. It's just easy. Just do it. It's not hard.
Yeah, just do it. It's harder to just actually improve, since most of the days I draw 30 minutes, I haven't really improved. So it's the days that I've spent more than 30 minutes that I feel like I'm improving. If you just draw to post, I would say don't bother. But I'm saying that mostly to myself, but I should just spend more time.
On that topic, Valley, would you say that you feel that you've improved more the times that you posted something that you had spent time thinking about and developing more than a simple 30-minute sketch?
Yeah, of course. Since with just the 30-minute stuff I've done, it's mostly doodles and straight up copying from reference. So
then, wait, when you do something that's more than 30 minutes, it's usually something that you've thought about previously and have planned out to execute.
yeah, so the slightly bigger projects and the challenges. I think the challenges is what I've improved most on, because it has given me a prompt or a reason to put more than 30 minutes into something.
That I can agree with you. Sometimes, challenges have helped me more time than once to do finished stuff.
Yeah.
More than just prompts, it's a general motivation that comes from the fact that you see other people on that working hard for something and for a common goal. So it kind of motivates you to do the same.
Yeah.
And every time I see a challenge ending that I didn't participate in or that I didn't find the time to participate in, and I see everyone's submission, I'm like, that could be me. I should have made time and worked on that. I'll do better on the next challenge.
Yeah. It's embarrassing when you just spend 30 minutes on the challenge when you see some masterpieces the other dads have posted.
In 30 minutes too, but it's infinitely better than yours.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, most of Echo's stuff is just I think just 30 minutes, since I've seen him said somewhere that he puts on a timer before the deadline and draws and posts.
Yeah, it reminds me of during tourney, the April tourney, when Lamprey/Fisher started his pieces 2 hours before the deadline and ended up doing something amazing, and it was kind of disappointing. I could have done better if I didn't start 2 hours before the deadline. Oh well.
Yeah.
And then gets almost a perfect score.
He's just flexing on everyone else.
Well, honestly, that you could call it flex, but that was very much faking as well.
On the topic of challenges, since you've mentioned that, how do you generally face challenges? Do you sign up for challenges because they're fun? Do you look at them as a way to improve in a certain topic that you're interested in? Or is it like a mix of both?
Well, mostly for the challenges, I just join the ones I think will be fun. And There's not really much thought behind it.
So you look at them with a more entertainment light than an actual, let's say, challenge in order to use it as a way of studying a certain topic.
Yeah, well, I've joined one of the challenges that was just go through like 3 art books in 3 months or something. So that I joined solely for the purpose of improving, but most of the challenges I join are just small ones and a few bigger ones. So mostly just for fun.
What art books did you choose for that one challenge?
What do you mean?
Oh, you mentioned that you did this one challenge about going through 3 different art books. Which ones do you choose for it?
Oh God, I can't remember. I'll have to look that up.
Should we go on to the next question while you look where you look for it, and we'll edit it in the video when you find it?
Yeah, probably.
Did you ever talk about do art daily to outsiders or to people in real life, to maybe your family or friends? Not necessarily to advertise it, but maybe to say it, oh, I have to draw 30 minutes today for this website I do, or something like that.
It's mostly just that, yeah, just as saying I have to draw today, so I'd have to post. And my family's like, what? Why? And I tell them it's because I'm in this art community where we have to post every day to have a streak. I haven't given them much detail.
Oh yeah, I've had the same situation happen to me many times. I also had to talk about to tell my family about the podcast to ask them to be silent while I record.
Same here. My mom got like kind of irritated because I hadn't really like prepared anything, and she couldn't understand how I would just talk without having anything prepared.
I mean, it's better if it's natural.
Yeah, that's true. So I really haven't prepared anything.
She wants you to be well presented for your interview.
Yeah.
She probably wants you to wear like a little, like a little suit and tie.
Oh God, I want to draw a raccoon with a suit and tie.
Nice.
You're welcome.
So, talking a little bit more about Dad, what features or changes would you like to see on the site?
Well, I really would like to it would be easier to like look through all the submissions for that day, since as of right now the images are kind of small, and when you go into them you have to manually toggle between each, and it loads a new page and you have to wait for the image to appear before. It takes a lot of time to like look at all the submissions for a day, so I'd like it to be easier to look at everybody's submissions.
Just make the website maybe more user friendly, I guess would be the term.
Yeah.
Are you interested in any of the other changes that some of the people keep suggesting, like, hey, we need to have a tribunal so we can judge people harshly, or, we need a better way to implement challenges, or any of those changes, or is it mostly the viewing the art aspect of the site and everything else is fine?
Like I've written a lot in like this site suggestions about having a lot of stats, like seeing the total amount of days you've drawn, not just your streak, and like.
So you're also not a fan of the universal streak measurement?
No, I really like the streak, but I'd like to be able to see the total streak, I guess.
My real streak.
My real streak, yeah.
The other streaks, you could say.
Yeah, like the total days you've drawn.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I had a lot of other ideas for stats, but I don't remember them right now.
That's fine, don't worry.
Like total page views and comments, how many people have commented on, and yeah, just a lot of stats. I really like stats.
Be wary, Valley, you don't want to anger the comment lights. They will come after you like they did to the thread.
They're harmless, I'd like to say, but they're really not. They're kind of scary.
They're kind of like little fairies with very sharp teeth.
Oh God.
It's again the famous question: would you rather fight one skipped-sized commentlet or 1,000 Comment let size skipped.
What the fuck? I'd go with the one big one.
Be careful though, skipped is very powerful.
You can probably tell that we've reached the maximum amount of interesting questions we had.
Going into the memes.
Going into we might end the episode soon.
Pretty much. So wait, we still have a couple of questions that
I'm not saying right now.
Yeah, true. I was just thinking, so let's go ahead and ask you, Valley, how do you feel about the dad community? For example, the threads, the Discord, and does it feel welcoming to you?
Well, the threads are kind of like a hard topic since it can change so much from day to day. Like one day it's like all cutesy stuff and music posting and just fun, but other times it's just so much hate. For just the site, there's not much community on the site since so few people comment. But I really, really enjoy the Discord. It's very comfy and fun to be able to hang out with all the other daddies and talk with them for hours in the voice chat.
Yeah, I feel like this is the main place where the community is a community.
Yeah, all the lurkers in the thread, come and join us, talk to us.
Yes, we have many, many shy and voiceless dads in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I joined the Discord, it took me like a month to be able to join the voice chat because I'm shy.
Oh, look at how far you've come, Valley. You're sitting here on the spotlight of the podcast.
It's kind of spooky.
You're an example to all the shy dads. Don't worry, we will not harm you. The spotlight is just for dramatic effect.
Sounds nice.
It makes the interrogation a bit.
Who of you are good cop and who are bad cop?
The bad host and the good host.
Yeah. We'll need to get more into character for the next time, I can grab a stick, Lafayette can have a friendly smile.
I thought I was the bad host all this time.
Oh no, why would you think so?
You can both be the good host.
It's all the good host until the room gets dark and both of them turned into the bad host.
Oh god.
Trying to devour the host, not the host, the guest.
Oh.
It's trying to devour the guest who must run for their life.
Watch out, I got a lot of fur.
God, no. I don't want to have to shave a raccoon. Don't worry,
God.
there will be no bad hosts this one time around. Your fur has saved you. We still have one last question, though, I think. So tell us, Valley, do you listen to music media or any kind of media, let's say podcasts, or any other form of entertainment like audiobooks and so while you're drawing?
I definitely listen to music and podcasts when I draw. There's really a time when I don't listen to anything when I'm drawing. So it's mostly music, but there's been a few podcasts lately. So for the podcast I'm listening to, it's the Proco one, the Draftsman. I'm also listening to a D&D podcast called the Dungeons and Daddies. So go listen to that YouTube. It's very fun.
Don't you get distracted by podcasts when you listen to them while you draw?
No, I don't feel like it. Mostly when I focus on my art, I zone out the podcast and it's just there in the background, so it's just comfy. And sometimes I laugh because I heard something in the podcast, but I still don't remember what I laughed about.
Yeah, you just don't want to have silence.
Yeah, I think I'm more productive when I listen to music or listen to something.
What kind of music do you generally listen to when you're listening to still drawing?
I listen to a lot of different music, but for drawing lately it's been a lot of like electro and techno music. I think Japanese like electric music.
Very energetic music then.
Yeah, lot of noises and beeping and stuff. I like all kinds of music, so do judge me on that. So
That's fine, don't worry. You can listen to whatever helps you draw better.
I don't think I would probably draw better if I didn't listen to music, but I like music. So.
Have you ever tried like drawing without music for an extensive period of time? Or, to rephrase that question perhaps a little bit, have you ever run out of music or whatever you were listening to while drawing and just kept going without realizing that let's say the sound had faded away?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes when the music stops, I just continue drawing. For example, when the playlist has stopped or something, and I feel like I definitely focus or think more. I think more when I draw without music, which makes the lines better and the proportions are often more correct.
So you could say that, drawing without some music helps you focus a little bit more and be more precise with what you're drawing.
I think for the most part, my drawing is pretty mindless without much thought at all. So when I don't have music on, I get to be able to think more about the lines I'm putting down and why I'm doing that. So
Have you ever thought of trying to start drawing without music, or like pausing the music willingly at some point to look at the drawing and perhaps get into those details that you like to look at better when you don't have music playing in the background?
I definitely pause the music if I'm struggling with what I'm drawing, but most of the time it doesn't help that much. It's kind of hard to explain.
Just need some music to feel your drawing experience.
Yeah, it's good. It's easier to sit down and work when you have some music in your ears.
Let's see. Do you generally get many ideas while you're listening to music?
I usually don't get any inspiration from music for drawing, at least. Well, there is one song I've wanted to draw something about. It's the one with tying a yellow ribbon to the old oak tree. So I wanted to draw something to do with that. I can probably find the song.
Oh, that's nice. I don't think I've heard this song before. Do you have any ideas for any more questions, Lafayette?
Oh, I think it's interesting. We end on a note that is a bit looking towards the future, a bit talking about projects and things like that. So I think that's a good way to end the podcast, actually.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the second episode of DADcast, and thank you for all the comments on last episode and all the opinions. Really motivates us to do more. Thanks a lot to you, Valley, for coming today and answering our questions with so much care and attention.
No problem.
We look forward to seeing you around again on DAD and on the Discord and in the community of DAD.
Yes.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and we shall see each other very soon with me and Bastian as well.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Timer started.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Wait.
Turn off every sound.
Shit.
Oh God.
What
Sorry.
is happening?
Oh, fuck. Seven's going to chastise me for that.